a US 709 million euro bond. Ahead of schedule. Ahead of schedule. We settled a US dollar 709 million euro bond ahead of schedule, completing the US 1.4 billion in debt service that was meant for 2025. Mr. Speaker, and the world noticed. Fitch, Moody's, and Standard & Poor's all upgraded Ghana's credit ratings, the first triple upgrade in many years. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's credibility is restored. Ghana is rising. The heaviest burden we inherited was the very high inflation rate, which was silently eroding every household's purchasing power. It peaked at 54.1% at the end of 2022, and it declined to 23.5% by the end of 2024. Mr. Speaker, we treated this with urgency. Through fiscal consolidation, currency stabilization, and disciplined monetary policy, inflation fell from 23.5% at the end of 2024 to 3.8%. Mr. Speaker, inflation fell from 23.5% at the end of 2024 to 3.8% over 13 consecutive months by January 2026. Mr. Speaker, and very interesting, food inflation, which had been the main driver of the upward pressure on inflation, fell by 26.6 percentage points. Inflation for locally produced goods fell by 22.6 percentage points. Mr. Speaker, these are not just statistics. These translate into the reality of a parent being able to put food on the table for their children. It translates into the reality of businesses thriving and creating opportunities for Ghana's young people. Mr. Speaker, petrol prices dropped from 15.2 Ghana cedis to 10.7 cedis per liter. And only recently, it dipped below the 10 cedi mark to 9.97. Diesel fell from 15.4 to 11.3. And this brought relief to our nation's 3.7 million car owners and the tens of millions of Ghanaians who depend on transport daily. Mr. Speaker, to the interesting part. Exchange rate volatility has long been at the heart of hardship in Ghanaian households. We made currency stability a priority, and Mr. Speaker, we have delivered. Mr. Speaker, we did not arrest the dollar. We strengthened the cedi to put up a good fight against the other currencies. Mr. Speaker, we did not arrest the dollar. We strengthened the cedi to put up a good fight against the other currencies. And I'm pleased to report to this House that the cedi appreciated by 40.7% against the US dollar and by 30.9% against the British pound and by 24% against the euro. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's economic turnaround is broad-based and comprehensive. All sectors of the Ghanaian economy have witnessed remarkable improvement in our first year in office. And most importantly, Ghana's economy has surpassed the 100 billion mark for the first time. And as I said, it is projected to place Ghana among the top 10 largest economies in Africa. Mr. Speaker, our reserves currently stand at $13.8 billion from $8.9 billion at the end of 2024. This covers 5.7 months of import. A key driver of this development has been the establishment of the Ghana Gold Board. By formalizing gold exports, we have reduced smuggling, we have increased recorded exports in the artisanal and small-scale mining sector from 63.6 tons to 103 tons. And we've channeled that foreign exchange into our economy. Mr. Speaker, when the cedi stabilizes, imported inflation falls, businesses can plan better, and household incomes improve. Mr. Speaker, as global uncertainty grows, it is necessary for us to reduce our country's exposure to external shocks, break the cycle of economic downturns, and safeguard our macroeconomic stability. Just last Wednesday, 25th February 2026, the Minister for Finance presented the Ghana Accelerated National Reserve Accumulation Policy to this House. Mr. Speaker, this policy seeks to strengthen our country's external resilience by increasing our international reserves to 15 months of import cover by the end of 2028, supporting long-term structural transformation while safeguarding macroeconomic stability. Mr. Speaker, it is forecast that gold prices will remain high over the next 3 years. And so this presents us with a unique opportunity to build an economic war chest to withstand any global economic shocks, to secure our macroeconomic stability and improve the standards of living of our citizens and build a lasting prosperity for future generations. This is what the GANRAP policy seeks to achieve. Mr. Speaker, we abolished nuisance taxes that were levied on Ghanaians between 2017 and 2024. These included the e-levy, the betting tax, the emission tax, the COVID levy, and so forth. Mr. Speaker, we have reformed VAT comprehensively. One, by abolishing the 1% COVID-19 levy, decoupling Get Fund and NHIL from VAT, reducing the effective VAT rate from 21.9% to 20%, raising the VAT threshold to 750,000 Ghana cedis to exclude petty businesses, and extending zero rating on textiles up to 2028. Mr. Speaker, these fiscal reforms have effectively put 6 billion Ghana cedis back into the pockets of Ghanaians. Interest rates have fallen from above 30% to currently between 18 and 20%, freeing up credits for businesses and households. And according to the Ghana Statistical Services, over 1 million Ghanaians have found employment between Q1 and Q3 of 2025. Mr. Speaker, and 950,000 Ghanaians have escaped multi-dimensional poverty over the same period. Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased to report that our external position has strengthened significantly. By December 2025, our current account recorded a surplus of 9.1 billion, representing 8.1% of our GDP. This is a remarkable increase from 1.5 billion or 1.8% of GDP in 2024. These achievements have been driven by robust gold, cocoa, and non-traditional exports, and increased remittance inflows. This improvement demonstrates that our economy is gaining strength and resilience again on the global stage. We've moved decisively from planning to action on our flagship 24-hour economy and accelerated export development program. This was officially launched in 2025, and this transformative initiative is designed, one, to unlock round-the-clock economic activity. 2, deepen our value chains across key sectors. 3, boost productivity and support export growth. And 4, create quality jobs in agriculture, manufacturing, logistics, and services. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank this August House. On 6 February 2026, this House passed the 24-Hour Economy Authority Bill. This has established the regulatory framework and the legal mandate that was necessary for full implementation. Last week, at the cabinet meeting held, I had the honor of signing this historic legislation into law. All is now set for takeoff. This is the boldest economic transformation initiative in Ghana's recent history. Mr. Speaker, in this year's budget, 110 million has been allocated to begin the setting up and implementation of the 24-Hour Economy Authority. These resources will enable businesses to operate beyond traditional business hours. They will attract investment through strategic partnerships with the Development Bank of Ghana and the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, and will strengthen the foundations for sustained growth and job creation, especially for our young people. This is about building prosperity and restoring our people's hope through concrete action. Mr. Speaker, a nation that does not learn from past mistakes cannot get out of the cycle of problems that impose hardships on its citizens. We've just begun to emerge from the most devastating economic crisis in our nation's recent history. This crisis was triggered by general financial indiscipline, huge deficits, and massive debts that were occasioned by persistent and unbudgeted expenditure to meet the ends of convenient politicking. In the last week, we have had to take the painful but necessary decision to revise the producer price of cocoa to achieve competitive pricing and resolve the acute liquidity challenges in the sector. Mr. Speaker, failure to do this as others did and left a debt of 32 billion for this government to pay. Failure to do this would have meant borrowing billions in borrowed funds. Mr. Speaker, this unplanned expenditure would have taken us right back to the very devastating economic problem we have only recently begun to escape. So, Mr. Speaker, while fully understanding the concerns and protests of our farmers, I can firmly assure them that the reforms announced by government will see a total transformation of the cocoa sector. And it will guarantee them a fair and transparent price that enables them to meet the cost of producing the commodity and making decent margins. Mr. Speaker, the difference between economic hardship and avoiding the same is the exercise of sound economic judgment. And I'm determined to take decisions that ensure our collective well-being and avoid the suffering of all our citizens. These are difficult decisions to take, but Mr. Speaker, I had to take them. Mr. Speaker, we are bringing legislation to this House to tighten our procurement processes by banning sole source contracts, except in exceptional circumstances. We will also bring legislation to this House to make it mandatory to seek Parliament's prior approval before any government asset or property is leased out or sold. This includes lands and state enterprises. Mr. Speaker, last Tuesday, I caused the Minister of Finance to lay before this House the Value for Money Office Bill. This is a landmark measure, a fulfillment of yet another campaign promise to the good people of Ghana. And this is designed to decisively end waste, inflated contracts, abandoned projects, and chronic cost overruns that have for far too long drained the public purse. All these measures are intended to improve public trust and accountability. Mr. Speaker, in January 2025, we inherited an energy sector on the brink of collapse. that had been precipitated by a severe financial crisis, the sector was burdened with a staggering debt of 80 billion Ghana cedis, strengthening the operational viability of key power producers. The 500 million World Bank partial risk guarantee, a critical risk mitigation instrument that was established in 2015 during my first term to safeguard the nearly 8 billion of private sector investment that was put into the offshore Cape Trade Points field, had been fully drawn down and exhausted due to prolonged non-payment for gas consumed. Mr. Speaker, at the distribution level, the Electricity Company of Ghana was plagued by high commercial and technical losses, collecting only 62% of the energy it purchased from generators and declaring less than 50% of its collection into the cash waterfall mechanism. Mr. Speaker, the result was severe liquidity shortfalls and power challenges throughout 2024. In the petroleum sector, years of policy inconsistency, regulatory inefficiencies, a lack of transparency, prolonged licensing processes, and unresolved legal disputes over field unitization had eroded investor confidence. Consequently, crude oil production declined by approximately 32% between 2019 and 2024. It fell from 71.4 million barrels per day to 48.2 million barrels. Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased to announce that as of December 31st, 2025, government has fully repaid and restored the entire 500 million World Bank guarantee, including interest. This has reinstated the facility in full and reaffirmed Ghana's standing as a credible and reliable partner on the global stage. Mr. Speaker, I can also announce that we are paying for every gas we are consuming today. In addition, between January and December 2025, through carefully coordinated policy actions, the government settled all outstanding gas invoices that were owed to ENI and Vitol, amounting to approximately $500 million. And so Ghana is now fully up to date with its gas consumption obligations to the Sankofa partners. And I'm pleased to announce that the 2026 budget has made adequate provision to ensure timely payments for all liquid natural gas that we consume going forward. Mr. Speaker, to ensure equity and fairness, the government has also held constructive engagements with Tullow Oil and the Jubilee Field partners, and we've reached a comprehensive roadmap to guarantee full payment for all gas that is consumed. This approach supports reliable nationwide electricity generation and accelerates industrial growth. Engagement with upstream partners has resulted in increased gas production, guided by a clear national vision to rapidly scale up domestic gas supply and reduce reliance on expensive liquid fuels. Mr. Speaker, beyond clearing inherited arrears, a robust framework has also been established to strengthen and monitor implementation of the cash waterfall mechanism. Another major milestone was the operationalization of the ECG's single holding account, which is overseen jointly by the Ministry of Energy and Green Transitions and the PURC. This intervention has significantly reduced revenue leakages, and it has enhanced ECG's capacity to meet its payment obligations. To address the high cost of power, the government has successfully renegotiated existing power purchase agreements. Engagement with the 9 independent power producers have resulted in a 250 million immediate savings and 1.1 billion of legacy debt restructured for payments between the period 2026 and 2028. These revised agreements will be submitted to Cabinet, and I'm pleased to inform you, Mr. Speaker, will be brought here to Parliament for ratification. Mr. Speaker, under the Rural Electrification Program, 200 out of the 400 targeted communities have been connected to the national grid, with a further 100 at various stages of completion. The national electricity access for Ghana today stands at 89.05. We are committed to ensuring that every Ghanaian has access to reliable, affordable electricity. It is worrying that the Electricity Company of Ghana continues to experience high power losses, with reports indicating that around 25% of generated power is lost. To address this phenomenon and anchor the gains we have made, adopting private sector participation, particularly in billing and collection, is the most effective way to significantly reduce these losses. Cabinet has approved the multiple lease method for concessions in the distribution utilities, and work is ongoing to implement this critical reform. Mr. Speaker, the Bui Power Authority has completed an additional 50 megawatts of solar power. In the distributed solar sector, 30 megawatts was achieved through rooftop installations, bringing our total installed capacity to 250 megawatts of solar, and this represents 5% of renewable energy in our entire generation mix. A few months ago, I broke ground for a 200 megawatt solar power project at the Dawa Industrial Zone, with the first 100 megawatts scheduled for completion in December 2026. The Ministry of Energy and Green Transitions is constructing 35 mini-grids to serve 47 islands and lakeside communities in the Oti, Savannah, and Bono East regions. The ministry will also supply 12,000 new smart net meters from the end of the first quarter of this year, 2026. And under the off-grid solar home system for public institutions, delivery of materials for the first phase of 350 systems has commenced. It means that public institutions are going to be fitted with solar to reduce their power consumption. Mr. Speaker, as part of the last mile electrification effort to achieve 99.98% universal access by 2030, the ministry has mainstreamed mini-grids into the National Electrification Scheme. Consequently, a feasibility study for the Afram Plains North District was completed for 100 communities to receive solar power, bringing the total number of islands and lakeside communities in the Afram Plains North and South to 150 that are ready for mini-grid solar electrification. I'm pleased to announce that the African Development Bank has committed to providing $100 million to fund the construction of renewable energy-based mini-grids for these communities. Mr. Speaker, we've signed a memorandum of understanding with the Jubilee and Tenfield partners to commit another $2 billion to additional investment in the Jubilee field. This will include drilling up to 20 new wells, the first wells being drilled in more than 9 years. Mr. Speaker, there's a second memorandum of intent with the OCTP partners, that's ENI and Vitol, to commit 1.5 billion of additional investment in the OCTP field in the Cape 3 Points Block 4 contract area, among others. This agreement will significantly increase Ghana's oil and gas production, thereby enhancing energy security, domestic demand, and infrastructure development. Mr. Speaker, we're on course to revitalize the Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Company through a strategic partnership with the National Petroleum Authority, Ghana Gas, and the Ghana Commercial Bank. This will boost production, ensure a steady supply of safe LPG cylinders, and strengthen local manufacturing. Mr. Speaker, I'm also pleased to announce to you that Tema Oil Refinery is back. The new management of the refinery has successfully completed extensive turnaround maintenance. And I'm pleased to inform you that this August House that for the first time since 2018, the refinery has commenced processing of crude oil into petroleum products again. So, Mr. Speaker, let me assure our countrymen and women that the energy sector reforms continue unabated. I remain fully committed to turning around the sector strengthening its foundations, and ensuring reliable, affordable, and sustainable energy security for our nation. Mr. Speaker, agriculture remains central to our national renewal. Since January 2025, this administration has embarked on a decisive reset of Ghana's agricultural sector under our Agriculture for Economic Transformation agenda, with the Feed Ghana program serving as the flagship vehicle for implementation. Our objective is clear: to restore food sovereignty, stabilize food prices, reduce import dependence, increase decent jobs, especially for youth, and reposition agric as a strategic growth sector under our 24-hour economy policy. Mr. Speaker, as of January 2025, food inflation stood at 28.3%, following an unprecedented peak of 61% in January 2023. This situation placed severe pressure on households and undermined national stability. Today, food inflation has declined significantly to 4.9%, and this has provided relief to Ghanaian families and businesses. Mr. Speaker, this year we have committed 300 million Ghana cedis to the National Food Buffer Stock Company to mop up excess produce, to stabilize prices, and build a strategic national food buffer against emergencies, marking the first time Ghana has deliberately built a food reserve for national resilience. Over 413 institutions, from basic schools through to tertiary institutions, have been registered and are actively participating in the Feed Ghana program. Institutional farming is currently being undertaken by the Ghana Armed Forces, the Ghana Prison Service, the National Service Authority, basic and second cycle schools, public universities, and faith-based organizations, including churches and mosques. A key pillar of the Feed Ghana program is the home gardening initiative. Across the country, families are being encouraged to grow vegetables at home and in their communities to reduce food expenditure, improve household nutrition, and enhance food availability. The Feed Ghana program is also firmly anchored on irrigation for wealth creation. Government is deliberately shifting our agriculture from rain-fed dependence to irrigation-based farming to support year-round production and also strengthen our climate resilience. And so over the past months, processes have begun for the following interventions: the construction of 2 new mega dams, the rehabilitation of 8 existing irrigation dams, and the construction of 250 solar-powered boreholes for farming communities and schools across the Northern Belt and Brong-Ahafo regions. In addition, major irrigation schemes, including the Via, Weta, Tanoso, Bong, Ashaman, and Aveime, are undergoing rehabilitation, while new inland valleys covering over 1,300 hectares are being developed to expand rice production. Under the Global Agriculture and Food Security Program, we've launched a 20 million agro-input distribution project to strengthen food and nutrition security across the Northern Savannah Ecological Zone. This project is being implemented in 12 districts across 6 regions, with a target of 50,000 farming households, including 30,000 women and youth. It will support the production of key staples such as maize, rice, soya bean, cowpea, granules, while promoting year-round vegetable cultivation through solar-powered micro-irrigation schemes for farmers groups and selected schools. The project is also supporting backyard and commercial poultry production, as well as the distribution of fertilizer and certified seeds to participating districts. This will help strengthen the poultry value chain. We're working to fulfill the promise of establishing farmer service centers across the country to modernize agriculture. Procurement processes are underway for a total of 660 tractors, 400 combined harvesters, and other agricultural equipment and implements. The first 11 farmer service centers will begin construction this year and will provide affordable access to land preparation, harvesting, storage, input supply, extension services, and equipment leasing, especially for smallholder farmers. Mr. Speaker, in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to cut short for the first Farmer Service Center in the Afram Plains. Mr. Speaker, agricultural extension remains the backbone of productivity, and to address the current gap between farmers and extension officers, 540 motorbikes have been procured to improve extension coverage. 150 of those bikes have already been distributed, and we're employing 400 Feed Ghana district coordinators nationwide, while 10,000 young Ghanaians are being enrolled under a 4-year National Service Agripreneurial Program with annual absorption into permanent employment. So far, 3,000 youth have been posted by the National Service Authority under the Agripreneur Program. This intervention is strengthening frontline service delivery and creating employment opportunities for young people. We're also placing farmer cooperatives at the center of our agricultural transformation plan. As of October 2025, 70,000 community commodity-focused farmers cooperatives had been established nationwide. And they are serving as platforms to access inputs, mechanization services, climate advisories, aggregation, and fair market negotiation. Government is actively linking farmers to agro-industrial investments to stabilize prices, create jobs, and accelerate Ghana's journey towards food security. A major highlight of this effort is the 154 million Ghana-Italy irrigated commercial farming project to establish a 10,000 hectare irrigation model farm to produce rice, maize, soya, and tomatoes. All produce from this project will be sold locally. This intervention is strategic and designed to fast-track progress towards food security, ensure a reliable supply of raw materials for agro-processing, and reduce Ghana's dependence on food imports. Mr. Speaker, other key initiatives under the Value Addition and Agro-Industrial Drive include rice processing facilities in the Upper East and Upper West regions, poultry feed production facilities in Ashanti, cashew and onion processing facilities in Bono East. In addition, a 40-ton per day soya processing plant is being established in northern Ghana to support soya bean farmers and reduce their feed costs. The share industry is also being revived through secured export contracts and measures to protect raw material supplies. Mr. Speaker, to reduce Ghana's 300 to 400 million annual poultry import bill, Ghana has launched a comprehensive poultry farm-to-table project. These comprise 50 anchor or commercial farmers producing 4 million birds, 500 SMEs producing 3 million birds, and a small-scale Nkokon Kitinkiti backyard and a small-scale Nkokon Kitinkiti backyard poultry program that is targeting 3 million birds nationwide, with emphasis on women and young children. Mr. Speaker, the Nkokon Kitinkiti program is underway as I speak, and the target is to reach 60,000 households. Even before I launched the Nkokon Kitinkiti program, 720 birds had been distributed during the pilot phase to 13,000 farmers in 12 districts. I recently opened a poultry processing factory in Bichim to support expected production growth in the poultry sector. Mr. Speaker, education is important and it remains pivotal to our national transformation agenda. In this regard, the year 2025 was both eventful and momentous for Ghana's education sector. I'm pleased to report that all the flagship initiatives and commitments that were contained in our Reset Agenda Manifesto have been faithfully honored during the year under review. The No Fee Stress initiative was successfully launched in Koforidua, and as I speak has benefited over 152,000 young people, first-year students in public tertiary universities. The number of beneficiaries this year is projected to reach 220,000 first-year students. In collaboration with the Student Loan Trust Fund, I have good news for law students. Law students in Ghana will also be now able to access the student loan scheme to pursue their legal education. Mr. Speaker, the free tertiary education policy for persons with disability has also been launched and is now fully benefiting all eligible persons with disabilities enrolled in our tertiary institutions nationwide. Mr. Speaker, the 2025 academic year saw a stable, uninterrupted supply of quality food to all our schools under the free senior high school program. Mr. Speaker, to further deepen coordination, accountability, and effectiveness in the education sector, this Honorable House passed several important pieces of legislation. These include: 1, the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology Bill 2025, the Ghana Scholarships Authority Bill 2025, the Change of University Names Bill 2025, the University for Development Studies Bill 2025, and the Ghana Education Trust Fund Bill 2025. To enhance private sector participation in the tertiary education sector, new legislation will be introduced in this House to ease regulatory bottlenecks and remove the requirement to charter, making it optional. Mr. Speaker, basic education remains the critical entry point into our education system. It is at this level that children acquire foundational literacy, numeracy, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills, upon which all future learning depends. Government understands the importance of the basic sector and is therefore undertaking a major policy shift to rebalance our education investments in favor of basic education. As part of this shift, the standards-based curriculum for kindergarten to primary 6 is currently under review to incorporate robotics, coding, and the responsible integration of generative artificial intelligence. Additionally, as part of the ongoing curriculum review, artificial intelligence education will be introduced at an age appropriate and developmentally sensitive, with a strong emphasis on ethical use, digital responsibility, critical thinking, and human values. Mr. Speaker, in response to the persisting challenge of schools under trees, this government has programmed a bold and decisive intervention for the 2026 financial year. This includes the construction of 200 kindergarten blocks, 200 new primary school blocks, 200 new junior high schools nationwide. And I'm further pleased to inform this House, adequate allocation has been done in the 2026 budget. I'm further pleased to inform this House that the government has fully cleared all outstanding capitation grant arrears owed to the public basic schools, as well as clearing all outstanding arrears of BEC exam registration subsidies due to the West African Exams Council. For previous years, the legacy debts to West African Examinations Council have all been cleared. Mr. Speaker, education for learners with special needs is not only a moral right, but also a sound, pragmatic investment. And it promotes equity and strengthens social cohesion. In recognition of this, the amended Get Fund Act has established a dedicated, sustainable funding framework to implement free education for learners with special needs, beginning in the 2026 academic year. Government has also increased the daily feeding grant for students in public special schools from 8 cedis per day to 15 cedis per day. This significant increment reflects our resolve to address the unique nutritional and health needs of learners with disability. In addition, Mr. Speaker, we'll construct a modern state-of-the-art special needs school in Ho in the Volta region, and we'll rehabilitate and upgrade the existing special needs schools in Okropong, Ekwapim, in fulfillment of our pledge also to provide free sanitary pads to schoolgirls as part of efforts to improve menstrual hygiene and reduce absenteeism among female learners. A total of 12.2 million packets of sanitary pads were distributed to girls in public schools across the country in 2025. Mr. Speaker, we allocated in this year's budget 292.4 million Ghana cedis to sustain the Free Sanitary Pad initiative. This commitment aims to remove gender-specific barriers to education and ensure that no girl's education is interrupted due to challenges related to her menstrual hygiene. Mr. Speaker, as part of efforts to decongest senior high schools and increase access and ensure parity in educational opportunities, government is going to convert and upgrade 30 Category C secondary schools to Category B, and convert and upgrade 10 Category B schools to Category A. In addition, facilities in Category A schools are going to be upgraded and expanded to be able to take in more children. Technical and vocational education and training remain a critical pillar of our strategy to address youth unemployment and accelerate skills development. Government will construct 6 brand new regional TVET centers of excellence across the country to equip our young people with practical, industry-relevant skills aligned with the demands of the evolving job market. We're also undertaking a review of the national curriculum to align with the OECD Future of Education and Skills Framework. This will make TVET education more adaptive and resilient. Mr. Speaker, to expand access to higher education and support balanced regional growth and meet the rising demand for quality tertiary education, we've entered international partnerships to establish 2 new public universities, one in Kentapor in the Bono East region, another in Jasikan in the Oti region. I'm happy to announce also that a grant has been sourced from China to establish a new public university in Damango in the Savannah region. Mr. Speaker, technical universities play a critical role in closing the skills gap and reducing youth unemployment by delivering high-quality, industry-aligned and practice-oriented training within a broader policy framework that stimulates labor demand. In this regard, government is going to establish 3 new technical universities to strengthen skills development, enhance innovation, and support national industrialization efforts. Mr. Speaker, the Teachers Housing Initiative is a joint effort involving district assemblies, Common Fund, Get Fund, NATS, and JESOPs. And the aim is to build 50,000 housing units for teachers. This initiative is called the Teacher Dabre, maybe a Teacher Beda. This partnership demonstrates our collective dedication to enhancing teachers' living conditions and boosting the retention of teachers, especially in rural and remote areas, and ensuring that teachers can live, work, and retire with dignity and security. Mr. Speaker, by prioritizing equitable access and expanding infrastructure, we're investing in human capital and laying the foundation for a Ghana where every child can learn, grow, and succeed. Mr. Speaker, our health system. By January 2025, our health system was under severe strain. Aging and deteriorating equipment, stalled hospital projects amounting to 15 billion Ghana cedis in liabilities, and growing workforce pressures had weakened service delivery. Over the past year, donor support to our health sector declined sharply from 19% of our total health budget to just 2.2% today, creating an annual financing gap of more than 2.4 billion Ghana cedis. The withdrawal of support from programs previously financed by partners such as the USAID exposed the vulnerability in essential supplies and services, particularly in remote and underserved communities. Faced with these realities, my government chose to act decisively. In 2026, direct government funding for health will account for about 72% of our total health spending. This is up from 56.8% in 2023. Core health allocations have risen to GHS 23.3 billion, and with national health insurance resources included, total health financing now stands at 34.7 billion Ghana cedis. This reflects our clear commitment to domestic financing and health sovereignty. At the same time, we have faced the growing burden of non-communicable diseases. Today, non-communicable diseases account for over 40% of all deaths in Ghana and remain a major cause of household poverty. To address this, the government established the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, otherwise called Mahama Cares. Mr. Speaker, this is the first nationwide financing mechanism dedicated to chronic and non-communicable diseases. Mr. Speaker, the National Health Insurance Levy has been uncapped. Claims payments are now timely, with facilities no longer waiting more than 6 months as happened in the past for payment to be made. We're also finalizing measures to increase provider tariffs by over 100% to reflect the realistic cost of health treatment. As a result of the increased trust, NHIS enrollment has risen from 57% at the start of 2025 to 66% today. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's health workforce density has risen from 16.6% per 10,000 people in 2025 to nearly 42 per 10,000 today, while public sector health employment has doubled to approximately 200,000 workers. And yet, significant challenges remain. At the beginning of 2025, when we took over, 103,000 trained health workers were still awaiting placement, employment, or enrollment onto the payroll. Over the past year, 13,500 nurses and midwives, along with hundreds of doctors and pharmacists, have been absorbed into the public payroll. Nursing trainee allowances have been regularized and restored. Application fees have been reduced, and the no-fee stress initiative introduced to ease access to training has been extended. Service conditions are being implemented to boost morale and retention. Looking ahead, government will expand recruitment and take necessary action to add more health workers onto the payroll. We will also correct the maldistribution of health workers through targeted incentives for health workers who agree to serve in underserved areas. Let me use this opportunity to appeal to our gallant health workers to accept postings to our underserved areas, seeing as it is a national call to duty, while we work to ensure that they have an enabling environment to do their work. Mr. Speaker, we will also scale up specialist and advanced nursing training to match the country's changing disease profile. New post-basic nursing programs in cardiology, nephrology, endocrinology, and oncology will be introduced. While the two existing ones, emergency and critical care nurses, will be scaled up. At least 30 nursing training institutions will transition to competency-based degree curriculums, supported by new scholarship opportunities for PhD-level training for nurses and allied health professionals. Mr. Speaker, on health infrastructure, my government remains firm in its commitment not to abandon unfinished projects. We'll continue to retool facilities, strengthen emergency and disease surveillance systems, and ensure that health infrastructure is properly aligned with staffing, equipment, and financing. In 2026 budget, provision has been made to commence regional hospitals in Oti, Savannah, and the Western North regions. This will expand access to quality care. Aligned with the reset agenda, we're making strategic investments in local pharmaceutical and vaccine production. The government has allocated 50 million in seed funding to the National Vaccine Institute. And in 2025, a local manufacturer secured market authorization to produce snake venom antiserum right here in Ghana. We're also finalizing steps to implement an advanced market commitment to prioritize locally manufactured vaccines and pharmaceuticals in public procurement. Production of the tetanus diphtheria vaccine is expected to commence this year, through a partnership with an Indonesian pharmaceutical firm. Disease control remains our priority in our country's immunization financing. We will strengthen immunization financing. In 2025, the vaccine budget for children and pregnant women was increased by 46%, exceeding the 171 million Ghana cedis. And this enabled Ghana to fully and promptly finance all its vaccines and reduce the risk of preventable outbreaks. In 2025, we also introduced the HPV vaccine to protect young women and girls against cervical cancer. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's HIV prevalence rate is estimated at 1.6%. And as I speak with you, there are about 350,000 of our countrymen and women living with HIV and AIDS. Mr. Speaker, although prevalence is low, some population segments and regions have significantly higher incidence than the national average. The Ghana AIDS Commission has been tasked with ensuring the availability of testing and antiretrovirals. This year, government will fully roll out a free primary health care program, removing all cost barriers at the primary level where it is most needed, while strengthening prevention, screening, and health promotion, especially for non-communicable diseases. The Ghana Medical Trust Fund will be scaled up, and access to advanced cardiac care, including cardiac catheterization services at Tamale, Kolebu, and Komfo-Anokye Hospital, will be expanded to reduce overseas referrals and position Ghana as a center for specialized care in the sub-region, in line with our medical tourism objectives. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Health is expected to issue guidelines to eliminate the unacceptable no-bed syndrome. Patients facing medical emergencies must be received and given help, if even under makeshift conditions. You don't need to have a comfortable bed to save a patient. No patient must be turned away from any health facility they report to. Mr. Speaker, but in the meantime, government will expand capacity by implementing the Rich Hospital Phase 2 project to increase the number of beds at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. We will also continue and complete the Police Hospital project, and also continue and complete the La General Hospital. Mr. Speaker, in the Ashanti region, we will complete the Sewa Regional Hospital, we will complete the Aferi Military Hospital, and we will complete the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital Maternity and Children's Block. Mr. Speaker, we remain on course to build a stronger, more resilient, and more self-reliant health system for all Ghanaians. Mr. Speaker, roads are a very important sector. We inherited a burden of significant financial obligations and structural pressures in the road sector that had accumulated over the years. As of December 2024, outstanding payments on road projects financed through the consolidated fund stood at 21 billion Ghana cedis. These were certified works executed by contractors across the country for which payment had not been made. In addition, indebtedness to contractors that was lodged with the Ghana Road Fund Secretariat and awaiting payment amounted to 5.43 billion Ghana cedis. This figure excludes accruing interest charges, which continue to compound the state's financial exposure. Mr. Speaker, beyond these areas, we inherited also contractual commitments, that is signed contracts, totaling more than 104 billion Ghana cedis. These commitments represent signed contracts for road projects at various stages of execution, many of them without corresponding secured funding to guarantee timely completion. By the end of 2025, the Ministry of Finance and Roads had cleared arrears amounting to almost 10 billion Ghana cedis owed to road contractors. And we are steadily continuing to reduce the road sector debts. Mr. Speaker, the famous Big Push infrastructure program This is my vision for a national infrastructure drive to restore critical national infrastructure. Naturally, the bulk of the money is dedicated to the road sector. We want to open economic corridors, create jobs, and reduce the cost of doing business. Mr. Speaker, as I speak to you, work has started on 50 major road projects that cover a distance of 1,144 kilometers. The total estimated cost of these projects is 50 billion Ghana cedis. Meanwhile, government is also completing 23 projects that were awarded by the previous administration but were not paid for. These projects amount to another 573 kilometers and are estimated to cost 15 billion cedis. So if you add that to the 1,500, it means about 2,000 kilometers of roads are currently undergoing rehabilitation as I speak. This is the biggest major investment in our road sector in the history of Ghana. Across all 16 regions, 73 projects are advancing with significant visible progress expected by the end of the year. Some of these include Tepamaban-Goso, the Kumasi Bypass Road, Swami Interchange and Local Roads, Sunyani Outer Ring Road, Sampa Jinijini Road, Techima Nkonsia Winchi Road, dualization of Winneba Cape Coast Road, Kwau Tafo Adosu Road, Godowa Afienya Dawenya, Bintiri Nakwanduri, Tamale Outer Ring Road, Wenchi Sola, Sola Wa, Bole Chache, Bole Town Roads, Navrongo Tumu, Tumu Han Lora, Atimpoku Ho, Ho Denu, dualization of Accra Aflao, dualization of Cape Coast Akrade, Dadieso Akontombra, to name just a few. Mr. Speaker, other feeder roads are Akosombo Jakiti Kudupe, Kudikope, Yeniam Junction Sedom, Apegusum Pakadan, Todome to Palime Gemini Road. Indeed, there are many others too numerous to mention. And as I said at the launch of the Big Push program, the whole of Ghana is going to become a construction site. And Mr. Speaker, Ghanaians can already testify that serious road works are underway across the country. Mr. Speaker, the Accra-Kumasi Expressway will be a 198.7 kilometer, 6-lane high-speed motorway. This expressway is designed to connect Ghana's two largest cities, Accra and Kumasi, and it will reduce the traveling time between Accra and Kumasi to approximately 2.5 hours. Mr. Speaker, this new alignment will have 8 interchanges and will be Ghana's first true expressway. And so government has established the Accra-Kumasi Expressway Limited, which is a subsidiary of the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, as the concessionaire that will be mandated to design, to finance, construct, operate, and maintain the expressway, with the Ministry of Roads and Highways as the contracting authority. The project delivery is structured as a long-term concession of up to 50 years. Mr. Speaker, this expressway will be Ghana's first purpose-built expressway with limited access points, so goats and sheep cannot cross at any point. Mr. Speaker, it's designed for higher speed limits and modern safety infrastructure to reduce travel time and improve road safety. Preparatory activities including feasibility studies, the detailed designs and cost assessments are currently underway. This major road construction work aims to improve mobility, safety, and trade while connecting communities to markets and essential services. Mr. Speaker, the Eastern Corridor. We aim to complete all unfinished segments of the Eastern Corridor Road by the end of 2027. Mr. Speaker, we'll continue and complete the 27.7 Accra-Tema Motorway and Extension Project. And this includes reconstructing the Accra-Tema Motorway into a 4-lane expressway with 3-lane service roads in both directions, and interchanges at Ashaman. Where you have the Ashaman underbridge, it will now be an interchange. There will be another interchange at Community 18 and Teshi Link. Mr. Speaker, it also involves remodeling the Tetekwashi interchange. Construction works are ongoing and progress is at 32%. Mr. Speaker, other important projects include the Kumasi Inner Ring Road, the Volivo Bridge over the Southern Volta River, the Dambai Bridge over the River Oti, and the Adoso Bridge over the River Afram at Eche Amanfrom. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Roads has received cabinet approval to reintroduce road tolls on our roads and our bridges. Mr. Speaker, this time using advanced technology to improve efficiency, transparency, and avoid leakages in revenue generation. Preparatory work is underway to ensure the reintroduction of tolling operations this year. Mr. Speaker, there is no doubt that an effective and efficient transport system is integral to any economic development plan. So to improve public transport services in the country, government is supporting Intercity SCC Coaches Limited, Metro Mass Transit Limited, and the private road transport operators to renew their fleets. Currently, a total of 300 buses have been procured to improve road transport. The initial batch of 100 buses is scheduled to arrive in the country by the end of the first quarter of this year. Mr. Speaker, in fulfillment of my pledge to re-establish a national airline, a 10-member task force established to oversee this initiative has submitted a business model and operational framework to guide the selection of a strategic partner for the new national airline. And this new national airline will take off soon, inshallah. Mr. Speaker, passenger traffic handled by the Ghana Airports Company increased to 3.625 million passengers in 2025. This was an increase from 3.4 million in 2024. In response to the rising passenger traffic and congestion at the Accra International Airport's new Terminal 3, we are remodeling Terminal 2 into a dual-purpose facility to serve both domestic and international flights. So when the remodeling of Terminal 2 is finished, all the domestic flights and some of the international flights will be moved to Terminal 2 so that we ease the congestion on Terminal 3. This will improve operational efficiency and enhance the overall passenger experience. Mr. Speaker, Accra's Terminal 3 remains amongst the best in Africa. A new concourse will link Terminal 2 and Terminal 3 so that passengers arriving in Terminal 2 and having to move to Terminal 3 won't have to come out and walk. They'll go through the concourse. Mr. Speaker, Terminal 3 is going to be supported by a new 7-story floor car park. It will also have an airport hotel and retail amenities to service the passengers. Mr. Speaker, runway expansion and overlay is currently being undertaken to strengthen the Accra International Airport's runway. Mr. Speaker, we will also begin work on new regional airports in Sunyani, in Bolgatanga, and Wa. In Sunyani, the current location of the airport is not appropriate to extend the runway, and so we have to move and build a new airport at a different location. Bolgatanga, the site has been acquired and work will commence. Wa also, we have to move the airport from where it is because it almost intersects the road and the airport slopes upwards, making it inappropriate for air travel. Mr. Speaker, we are also reverting the airport in Accra, the international airport in Accra, to its original name, the Accra International Airport. Even though NLC Decree 129 was passed, no effort or nothing was done to effect the clause in the decree that said that the airport should be renamed after Kotoka. So in all international records in ICAO and IATA, that airport in Accra, the international airport, remains named Accra International Airport. Mr. Speaker, we are working to fully operationalize the Tema and Pakadang rail line to maximize passenger and freight traffic between Tema and the north using the Volta Lake waterway. The Western and Eastern railway lines will continue to be modernized in partnership with the private sector. These projects are aimed to support the efficient transport of container and bulk cargo to and from our ports, as well as to facilitate the efficient haulage of minerals from mines in Usuta, Awaso, and Yinehing to the Takoradi port, while also providing passenger transport along the respective rail corridors. Mr. Speaker, as part of the 24-hour economy initiative, a new 24-hour operation has started at Tema Port, allowing access to port services around the clock. This development enables importers to clear their goods at any time, significantly easing congestion at the terminals like the transit terminals, the reefer terminal, and the Golden Jubilee terminal. The initiative brings together customs, banking, and other relevant agencies to enhance efficiency, low transaction costs, and boost Ghana's competitiveness as a major trade hub. Cabinet has reviewed the designs and feasibility study for the Keita Port and directed the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority to present an action plan and a roadmap for the realization of the project at the earliest possible time. Mr. Speaker, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, as part of its expansion efforts, has established a new operational office at Adenta Bus Terminal in Accra. If you need any service in the night from DVLA, go to Adenta. There's an office open there day and night. Mr. Speaker, this modern facility operates around the clock, providing continuous service to improve accessibility and convenience for our motorists in Adenta municipality and the whole general Accra area. Mr. Speaker, communications is important, and under the Rural Telephony and Digital Inclusion Project, implemented through the Ghana Investment Fund for Electronic Communications, GIFEC, we extend voice and data connectivity to unserved and underserved communities. We've targeted the construction of 2,016 cell sites all over underserved and unserved communities. 1,561 of these 2,016 cell sites have been constructed, and of this number, 1,144 have been activated. Work is ongoing to activate the remaining 417 sites. Preparations are also well underway to commence construction of the remaining 455 sites. Mr. Speaker, under the School Connectivity Initiative, over 62,000 digital resources have been uploaded to the Ghana Knowledge and Skills Bank, enabling seamless access across multiple devices, from PCs to laptops to tablets and smartphones, for more than 600,000 users, including teachers, students, and researchers. Mr. Speaker, as part of the government's research agenda to ensure Ghanaian youth acquire essential digital skills for the modern global economy, I launched the 1 million coders program in March 2025. This initiative aimed to train 1 million Ghanaians in key data areas, including data analytics, data protection, cybersecurity, the metaverse, and artificial intelligence over 4 years. Phase 1 of the program, that is the pilot phase, saw hundreds of trainees complete their training programs in person across 4 training centers that were established in Accra, Kumasi, Sunyani, and Bolgatanga. Mr. Speaker, Phase 2, which will include virtual sessions, is set to commence this year, with expanded training centers and an increased number of beneficiaries. We project that 400,000 young Ghanaians will be trained this year, and this will build up to the numbers approaching 1 million. Mr. Speaker, the fight against corruption has remained a defining priority of my government and represents a central pillar of our commitment to good governance and accountability and the prudent management of public resources. Mr. Speaker, we've made progress through strengthening collaboration among law enforcement agencies, financial intelligence institutions, and prosecutors. These efforts have led to initiation of criminal proceedings and asset forfeiture proceedings against some individuals and entities implicated in financial crimes against the state. But yes, I agree with the sentiments of Ghanaians that we must press harder on this accelerator. As of December 2025, IOCO has recovered more than 600 million Ghana cedis. The office has investigated 462 cases, with 15 currently under prosecution. It has dismantled transnational carjacking syndicates and has recovered 29 luxury vehicles that were stolen. Mr. Speaker, the government remains resolute that corruption will not be tolerated, regardless of status or political affiliation. The Attorney General's office will continue to use both criminal prosecution and non-conviction-based assets recovery mechanisms to ensure that stolen public resources are returned for national development. Mr. Speaker, I understand that a large majority of Ghanaians are impatient to see those who abuse their public trust in office held to account. Mr. Speaker, there were periods when, under military regimes and unconstitutional governments, extrajudicial means could be used to exact retribution against persons perceived as corrupt or who had abused the mandate given to them by the people. Mr. Speaker, this may have appeared as swift justice, but many regrettable excesses were recorded. In 1992, we overwhelmingly adopted the 1992 Constitution to accept governance by the rule of law. On 7th January, when I swore the oath of office before the people of Ghana, I swore to uphold the 1992 Constitution. I may be as impatient as everyone else to see justice done, but painstaking investigations must be conducted. Dockets must be prepared, charges must be filed, and the accused must have their day in court, including appealing, even on the smallest point of law, to higher courts. This process is necessary to protect us all against abuse or ill treatment of citizens, and to ensure that only those guilty of offenses against the state are punished. As President Mills of blessed memory said, he said, and I quote, "The wheels of justice grind slowly, but they grind exceedingly fine." Mr. Speaker, let me reassert my determination to uphold the accountability of public office holders to the people of Ghana. We have laid the Public Officers Code of Conduct Bill before Parliament. This bill codifies the conduct of public officers and makes breaches thereof punishable. I wish at this juncture to thank His Lordship, the Chief Justice, for establishing additional specialized high courts to address breaches identified in the Auditor General's report. Mr. Speaker, the Constitution review process was conducted in a transparent and consultative manner. drawing on input from constitutional experts, civil society organizations, traditional authorities, religious leaders, political parties, and the general public. The review committee has submitted its comprehensive report containing detailed proposals to amend the Constitution to address identified weaknesses and make it more welfare enhancing. Mr. Speaker, the Attorney General's office is working closely with relevant stakeholders to translate the recommendations into implementable legal and constitutional proposals, which will be presented to this August House in accordance with constitutional procedures. Mr. Speaker, illegal mining continues to pose a grave threat to our environment, water bodies, public health, and national security. Mr. Speaker, prosecution of persons engaged in illegal mining has been intensified, with a renewed focus on dismantling organized criminal networks behind galamsey operations, rather than targeting only the little fish, low-level offenders. Mr. Speaker, in all these galamsey operations, there are big fish who never get caught. Mr. Speaker, in total, over 114 case dockets involving hundreds of accused persons are pending in various courts across the country, particularly in towns and villages that are prone to illegal mining. Specialized prosecutorial teams have been deployed to fast-track illegal mining cases, ensure the effective presentation of evidence, and pursue the confiscation and forfeiture of equipment and proceeds used in or derived from illegal mining. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to gender and social protection, my government will continue to ensure gender equality and equity, promote the welfare and protection of children's rights, and empower the vulnerable, the aged, and persons with disability for sustainable national development. Work is well advanced on the Women's Development Bank, for which a total of 401 million Ghana cedis has been allocated in the 2026 budget. The coming months will see a full rollout of this monumental policy to empower Ghanaian women and women-owned businesses economically and financially. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Gender and Social Protection has successfully honored all legacy leave payment cycles for 2025 and before, reaching 1.5 million people. It has also ensured the full implementation of the Ghana School Feeding Program in over 12,000 public schools across all 261 districts of this country. Mr. Speaker, the number of beneficiary pupils under the school feeding program has increased from 3,801,491 for the 2023-2024 academic year to 4,231,059 for the 2024-25 academic year. This program is providing gainful employment to 34,000 caterers and cooks nationwide. Mr. Speaker, in the security sector, Ghana faces evolving security threats. Our troops, services, and agencies have, however, remained firmly committed to strengthening national peace and security, which underpin our democracy, development, and social cohesion. This commitment encompasses internal security operations, international peace support missions, strategic investment in restructuring and retooling and improvement in troops' welfare, recruitment, and capacity development. Mr. Speaker, two recent incidents are evidence of the increasing dangers we face as a nation. The killing of 8 of our compatriots who had gone to a neighboring country to purchase tomatoes, and just yesterday, an attack on Ghanaian fishermen in our waters by pirates reinforced the need for us to retool and adequately equip our security services. Mr. Speaker, I wish to commend the Ghana Armed Forces for conducting a successful medical evacuation of our injured compatriots from Burkina Faso. I also commend the Ghana Navy and the Ghana Air Force, the National Security Council Secretariat, the Chief of Staff's Operations Team, the MP for Ewutu Senya, the Chief Fisherman and people of Senya Breku for the combined effort that successfully rescued all the stranded 71 fishermen who had been attacked by pirates. I've asked the National Security Coordinator to assist the affected fishermen and replace the stolen outboard motors and fishing gear. Mr. Speaker, the Armed Forces continues to play a key role in containing illegal small-scale mining through the deployment of river guards and support for the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat and assistance to special courts for swift prosecution of offenders. Mr. Speaker, during the year, the Ghana Armed Forces had 2,119 troops with requisite equipment deployed in various peacekeeping missions, reinforcing Ghana's reputation as a dependable and professional contributor to international peacekeeping operations. While Ghana continues to maintain an enviable reputation in international peacekeeping, we must note that many of these peacekeeping theaters where we have operated are winding down due to reduced budgets for UN peace support operations. And so as our troops return home, we must create opportunities for them to train, to remain active, and stay engaged. Mr. Speaker, beyond peacekeeping operations, Ghana continues to demonstrate its strong commitment to international solidarity, humanitarian assistance, and South-South cooperation. In December 2025, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in conjunction with the Ministry of Defense, deployed 54 personnel from our 14 Engineers Brigade to Jamaica to support that country with national reconstruction efforts following the devastation that was caused by Hurricane Melissa, which claimed over 40 lives. In recognition of the scale of the recovery effort and the good work our soldiers were doing in reconstructing the houses in Jamaica, government approved a request from the government of Jamaica asking us to extend the mandate of our soldiers there for another 90 days, which we approved. Mr. Speaker, to further improve operational readiness, the government will continue to invest in vital defense infrastructure and retooling. The construction of a forward operating base at Ezinlibo, situated along the Western Maritime Corridor, is ongoing. This facility aims to boost maritime surveillance and better protect offshore oil and gas installations. The Northern Border Security Project, initiated to counter terrorism and transnational crime, is advancing decisively. This project constitutes the first line of defense against any infiltration and extremist threats coming from the Sahel, and it would significantly strengthen the surveillance of our northern border. Plans are well advanced to establish 2 new military barracks in Ejumako in the central region and in Dambai in the Oti region to address emerging security concerns and strengthen the presence of the state in these areas. To further support retooling efforts, agreements have been signed to procure and deliver 4 brand new Eurocopter helicopters and 1 jet for the Ghana Air Force, aimed at replacing the aging fleet and modernizing our air capabilities. The Ghana Armed Forces is carrying out a thorough overhaul of previously grounded aircraft, which involves replacing essential components and bringing them back into service. This aims to quickly restore their operational readiness for the Ghana Armed Forces to enhance mobility and boost troop morale. It forms part of a broad way to acquire 2 brand new offshore patrol vessels, armored personnel carriers, protective gear, ammunition, vehicles, and strategic drones and advanced communication systems to enhance the operational capability of the Army, Navy, and Air Force. We will also continue to prioritize human capital development within the armed forces. A progressive recruitment drive to increase the strength of the Ghana Armed Forces by 12,000 personnel over 4 years to support expansion and operational demands is ongoing. In line with the government's reset agenda, the recruitment process has been decentralized to regional capitals, with selected recruits reporting directly from their regions to training schools, marking a significant shift from the previous Accra-centered system. Mr. Speaker, on a very solemn note, I wish to express my condolences to the families of 6 of our young daughters who died during the stampede at the Elwak Stadium. May their memory be blessed and may they rest in perfect peace. Mr. Speaker, following the revised gratuity regime that was introduced in 2020 under the stewardship of Honorable Nitiwu, extending service by 5 years, under Constitutional Instrument 129, arrears have accumulated. Nitiwu is my friend, don't worry. Arrears have accumulated, Mr. Speaker, because no budgetary provision was made over the 4 years that followed. Afenyo, when we all leave politics, I and Nitiwu are going to the same place in the north. You go to Winneba. Don't worry, we are brothers. Mr. Speaker, this has resulted in over 1 billion Ghana cedis owed to approximately 3,000 personnel across all the different ranks. As part of our commitment to fairness and the resolution of long-standing legacy issues, the government will soon commence payments of gratuity arrears under CI 129. Honorable by the current military high command with the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Defense, a structured implementation plan has been agreed upon. This will bring closure to the issue that has been outstanding since 2020, and it will ensure that affected personnel receive their rightful entitlements. Mr. Speaker, the Ghana Police Service has also received 40 armored vehicles and 100 pickup trucks to enhance their operations. Other security agencies such as the Fire, Prisons, Immigration, BNI, and Narcotics Control Commission will also be retooled to enhance their efficiency. Mr. Speaker, let me take this moment to commend the IGP and his men for the recent major successes they are chalking in bringing dangerous criminals to justice. The trust of the Ghanaian people in their police service is rising again, and I urge you to keep up the standard. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's foreign policy remains a central instrument for advancing our national development, for safeguarding our sovereignty, and projecting our values on the global stage. At a time when the global environment is characterized by profound geopolitical shifts, economic uncertainty, climate-related challenges, and evolving security concerns within our sub-region, government has taken deliberate steps to ensure that Ghana's engagement with the world is purposeful, strategic, and responsive to the needs of our people. In this regard, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has stepped up efforts to align Ghana's external relations with our domestic development priorities. Mr. Speaker, in West Africa, Ghana continues to pursue a policy of good neighborliness, solidarity, and constructive cooperation with all countries in the sub-region. We remain firmly committed to the vision of a peaceful, stable, prosperous, and integrated West Africa, grounded in mutual respect, dialogue, and collective responsibility. Particularly following their withdrawal from the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. Ghana believes that continued dialogue and cooperation are indispensable to regional stability, and that disengagement only deepens our collective vulnerabilities. At the continental level, Ghana continues to play an active, principled, and forward-looking role in advancing the African Union's strategic priorities. Today, Ghana currently holds the following prestigious positions. We are AU champions on reparations. We are AU champions for African financial institutions. And Ghana is also the AU champion for gender equality and women's empowerment. Mr. Speaker, I'm humbled by my election as the first vice chairperson of the African Union at the 39th ordinary session of the AU Assemblies of Heads of State in Government held recently in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Mr. Speaker, it is also gratifying to note that my colleague leaders in West Africa have declared me John Dramani Mahama. President of the Republic of Ghana and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Officers. They have declared me unopposed by the grace of God, sole candidate for the position of chairperson of the African Union when the rotating chairmanship returns to West Africa in 2027. Mr. Speaker, during the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly, I raised Ghana's voice to call for a comprehensive reset of the United Nations to better reflect the current realities and particularly the role of Africa in global governance and fairness in international financial systems. In line with our multilateral commitments, Ghana announced plans to table a United Nations resolution that recognizes the transatlantic slave trade as the gravest crime against humanity, and promoting an agenda of acknowledgement, reparative justice, and cultural restitution. Mr. Speaker, I'll formally present this resolution, which has been endorsed and adopted by the African Union unanimously, to the UN in March of this year for consideration by the UN General Assembly. Mr. Speaker, passports have never been easier to acquire than under this regime. Mr. Speaker, the Foreign Ministry of Foreign Affairs has established 7 new passport application centers in Upper East, Oti, Ahafo regions, Bono East, Northeast, my own region, Savannah, and the Western North region. Mr. Speaker, with this expansion, all 16 regional capitals now host passport application centers, marking a major milestone in the decentralization of passport services. Mr. Speaker, to address systemic delays, the ministry implemented a 24-hour passport production operation at the head office. This enabled the clearance of an inherited backlog of over 40,000 passport applications. As a result of these reforms, Ghana's passport administration now operates with zero backlog, guaranteeing passport delivery within 15 working days. If you like, try it. Apply for a new passport. Within 15 days, you will receive your passport. Mr. Speaker, to facilitate travel and boost tourism and ease business mobility, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs implemented a 5-day visa processing service across Currently, significant progress has been made in the design and procurement phase of a national e-visa platform with a targeted rollout plan for 2026. This means if you apply for visa, you apply online and the visa is approved online. You don't need to go to the Ghana embassy to apply. Ghana has also secured new visa waiver agreements with 11 countries to facilitate people-to-people exchange. It means for those 11 countries, Ghanaians don't need passports to go there. You just jump on the plane and appear there, and they will allow you in. Mr. Speaker, to highlight Ghana's ongoing commitments to international solidarity, we made humanitarian donations to Jamaica, Cuba, Sudan, and Palestine to support disaster relief and conflict-related crises. These donations amounted to millions of cedis and included food, medicine, clothing, cocoa products, blankets, and mattresses, and plastic buckets. I'm also pleased to report The remittances from our relatives abroad, the Ghanaian diaspora, reached a historic high of $7.8 billion in 2025. Mr. Speaker, this is the largest annual inflow ever recorded in Ghana's history. This reflects not only confidence in the Ghanaian economy, but the enduring patriotism of our citizens living and working abroad. Mr. Speaker, these remittances they bring back home support households, they finance education, they build homes, they provide seed money for businesses, and best of all, they stabilize our foreign exchange position. In many respects, our diaspora has become one of the country's most reliable development partners. Without contracts, conditionalities, or fanfare, they are easily one of our most reliable development partners. We must intentionally ensure that citizenship, rather than place of residence, determines one's right to serve the Ghanaian Republic. Ghanaians worldwide who pledge allegiance to this country of theirs and make substantial contributions to its development should not be barred from active participation in public affairs, including the opportunity to hold public office, provided there are appropriate measures to ensure loyalty and accountability. Mr. Speaker, I'm personally in support of the bipartisan bill currently before this House, seeking to address this matter. And it is my hope that it will be passed expeditiously so that our compatriots we're trying to achieve. We're implementing many policies to develop our youth capacity and to create as many jobs as possible to address the major unemployment problem. All our youth activities and job creation programs are ongoing. In 2025, 10,887 young people were trained in entrepreneurship programs and job creation under the Ejumawura program. In 2026, an additional 10,000 young people will receive similar support under the program. The National Apprenticeship Program onboarded 14,000 young apprentices during the pilot phase, and they have started receiving their start-up kits after passing out successfully. Training is ongoing across the regions, and when completed, the trainees will be certified by the Commission for TVET to facilitate their access to employment. Mr. Speaker, this year the target for the National Apprenticeship Program has been increased from 10,000 to 100,000 young people, offering many more young people the opportunity to acquire the skills needed for sustainable development. And as I said, when they pass out, they are giving a certificate by TVET to show that they have passed out and have the skill in whatever they learned. In 2025, 86,000 young people were engaged through the Youth Employment Agency, various employment modules under this agency. This year, I've directed the Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment as a matter of urgency to review all the youth employment modules under the YEA to reduce duplication and ensure value for money. This is important so that we can channel the resources to the advantage of the teeming youth who are waiting for opportunity. Mr. Speaker, the National Service Authority has signed an MOU with the Ministry of Defense to commence military training for 10,000 national personnel will receive call-ups to report at various military centers for training. Mr. Speaker, this was a program initiated by our late Minister for Defense of Blessed benefit of the personnel Ghana's trade and agribusiness and industrial sectors to boost our competitiveness in export markets, encourage value addition, and generate employment for Ghana's large youth population. My recent visits with initiate expansion works on factories has convinced me that Ghana is on the right track First step, we are collaborating with private sector to establish 3 new garment factories in Eastern Region, Central Region, and Bono East Region. This will create an estimated 27,000 strategic investors a 27.04% growth in 2025. Export sector of the overall 33.8% of industry's share of gross domestic product in 2025. It emerged as a leading contributor within the industrial sector. The sector generated export earnings of approximately 15.25 billion, accounting for 65.37% of Ghana's total export receipts, out of a total of 23.3 billion. Mr. Speaker, the abolition of value-added tax on mineral exploration activities is expected to significantly reduce upfront costs for investors, improve project economics, and stimulate increased greenfield and brownfield explorations across the country. The fight against galamsey remains complex and demands a multi-dimensional response that integrates strong enforcement, the application of technology, sound regulation, and active community participation. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, in collaboration with the Ministry of Transport and Ghana Revenue Authority and the Ministry of Finance, has registered 1,808 pieces of earth-moving equipment at the ports, of which 1,033 have been fitted with trackers and are being tracked. The protection of our water bodies and forest reserves is ongoing with the deployment of 1,634 blue water guards across Western North, Savannah, Upper West, Bono, Eastern, Ashanti, Central, Volta, and Northern regions. This nationwide deployment aims to strengthen surveillance, improve rapid response, and enhance on-the-ground enforcement against illegal mining activities that threaten critical water bodies, forest ecosystems, and livelihoods. Mr. Speaker, NIMOS will maintain regular coordinated operations across all 21 identified hotspots to prevent re-entry of illegal miners into these reserves. While temporary deployments yielded positive results, they proved insufficient for sustained enforcement. Mr. Speaker, in the works housing and water subsector, these are vital pillars of Ghana's national development, shaping sustainable livelihoods through reliable water supply and affordable housing that enhance citizens' well-being. Sea defense works are ongoing. We've successfully completed works at Komenda, Ningo Pram, and Elmina. Together, these 3 projects have protected approximately 15 kilometers of our coastline and safeguarded lives and livelihoods and property. In March 2025, I visited Solakope, Agaveji, and Amutinu in the Ketu South municipality, where tidal waves had displaced thousands of residents. We made a firm commitment to address the devastation. Mr. Speaker, through contract, and in August last year, I officially cut short to commence the project. I'm pleased to inform this House that the project is currently 25% complete and calm has already been restored along the coastline. Notwithstanding these actions, flooding remains a major infrastructural challenge in the country and a top priority for this government. A task force on flooding is in place and coordinating the national mitigation efforts against flooding. Ghana continues to grapple with housing deficit, currently estimated at over 1.8 million units. Some significant strides have been made in the housing sector. In line with government's earlier commitments to complete all ongoing housing initiatives, we have successfully concluded the joint venture arrangements which we inherited for the completion of the Saglemi housing project. The Attorney General is reviewing all related documentation to finalize and commence the project. When these projects are finished, it will increase the number of housing stock available. The TDC in Ghana is also steadily advancing work on 800 housing units under the Akpong Affordable Housing Project at Tema Community 26. To position TDC Ghana as a key player in Ghana's housing industry, I performed a sword cutting ceremony last year for what they call the Oxygen City Housing Project in Ho of all places. That project seeks to address Ghana's housing deficit by developing 1,000 affordable housing units. We've also continued with our resettlement housing efforts for the victims of the Akosombo Dam spillage, with 251 of the planned 1,010 housing units in critical housing zones already under construction. Collectively, these initiatives demonstrate government's continued resolve to expand access to affordable housing, strengthen urban planning, and provide relief to affected communities. Mr. Speaker, renewable water resources are estimated at about 54 billion cubic meters, with over 70% derived from the Volta River, which is shared among 6 riparian nations. We're implementing key interventions to expand and improve water services nationwide. So the following urban water supply projects are at various stages of completion. The Keta Water Works, the Winchi Water Supply Project, Sekendita Krade Water Supply Project. And I'm happy to announce that Anyako has good, clean drinking water today, and the Community Water and Sanitation Agency will commission the project next week. It will also serve the island community of Seva. We will begin preparatory work on the Damango and Sunyani water supply expansion projects and seek to finalize all financing arrangements for other water supply projects in Tamale, Yendi, Techiman, and Takwa. Mr. Speaker, the Danish government has allocated grant support to improve water supply services in low-income and high-density areas in Wa and Bolgatanga, aiming to address water challenges and provide relief to vulnerable populations. Mr. Speaker, the following rural water supply projects are ongoing: Asankregwa, Sehiyoso, Duadaso, Kwemandamfa, Goso, Dwabing, Aveime, and Edumbamso. To strictly follow the resetting agenda and secure sufficient funding, the Ministry of Finance has allocated 6.3 billion Ghana cedis to the District Assembly's Common Fund. This amount covers 4 quarters of the 2025 fiscal year, and it has been allocated to all 261 metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies to execute their activities outlined in the medium-term development plans and annual action plans. Mr. Speaker, out of the amount released, a total of 4.3 billion has been dispersed to all MMDAs. The 4th quarter installment is being processed and will be disbursed soon. Mr. Speaker, all members of this House will agree with me. All members of this House will agree with me that the flow of resources to the district assemblies is unprecedented. All your assemblies are receiving more money than they've ever received in several years. Mr. Speaker, in fulfillment of government's commitment to strengthening local governance and decentralization, the ministry has, for the first time in the history of local governance, disbursed a total of 100 million Ghana cedis in monthly allowances to all assembly members. Unprecedented, assembly members have received their allowances. The Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs has also finalized designs for the new 24-hour economy modern markets to be constructed in all metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies. Mr. Speaker, procurement processes are far advanced to commence the construction of these markets. And very soon, in all your district, honorable members, you will have a 24-hour market operational. Mr. Speaker, our tourism and creative arts sector has a lot to offer. Creatives using the new media are giving our nation greater prominence than we could have achieved through any first-class traditional media outlet. Our economy will not be built only by traditional sectors, but also by human creativity sectors that will absorb those people who will be displaced from the shop floor by the new AI technologies that are being rolled out. Ghana has become a favorite tourist destination because of our history, culture, our arts, our music, our fashion, and our food. Government has allocated 20 million Ghana cedis to the film sector alone. This is going to the film sector to support Kumawood and Gollywood and all the woods. Mr. Speaker, another 20 million cedis has been given for the other creative sectors. I believe that this injection of money will bolster our creative sectors. Mr. Speaker, I wish to assure the creative industry and the Ministry of Tourism that I'll be your personal ambassador. Mr. Speaker, in line with our new national effort to bring events and conferences to Ghana, we are going to undertake the refurbishment of the Accra International Conference Center to restore it to its iconic past as the country's national and international events and conference venue. Mr. Speaker, the original contractors of the center, Enego Project Ghana Limited, have conducted a structural integrity assessment at the request of the Office of Chief of Staff and made recommendations for the facilities renovation and refurbishment. They will commence this work in the next few weeks. But Mr. Speaker, the AICC is not enough for a country seeking to develop its creative sector and become West Africa's destination for meetings, conferences, musical concerts, and entertainment. So working with the private sector, work will also commence this year on a befitting convention and creative events center to position Ghana as West Africa's leading hub for meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions and creative events. Ghana will also begin this year the renovation of the State Banquet Hall, which has been closed for a couple of years. Mr. Speaker, this year we will strengthen Ghana's standing in the major global and continental sporting events. We will make our 5th FIFA World Cup appearance. And for us, this is an opportunity to boost national branding and the economy beyond just sports. Mr. Speaker, supporters and other people interested in going to support the team would have to submit a visa request to the American Embassy. We are being told that we must ensure that supporters who go return on the visas. It has taken a lot of work to restore Ghana's 5-year non-immigrant visas and take us off the ban list. It is my hope that this event will not send thousands of Ghanaians to America and get us back on the ban list. Mr. Speaker, the Black Queens will compete at the 2026 African Cup of Nations, Women's African Cup of Nations, building on their bronze medal finish in Morocco. At the youth level, Ghana will participate in the 2026 Youth Olympic Games in Dakar with a multidisciplinary team aimed at strengthening long-term elite pathways. We'll also compete at the Commonwealth Games 2026 in Glasgow, reinforcing Ghana's presence across the Commonwealth sporting landscape. Mr. Speaker, as a member of the Ghana Journalists Association, I've been deeply concerned about the abuses suffered by journalists at the hands of some of our errant security personnel. I've asked the leadership of the security agencies to take firm action and to reorient their men and women on the need to be accommodating to journalists who are only doing their job of keeping citizens informed. I've also been concerned about the state of our state-owned media, most of which have suffered from historical underfunding and grappling with deteriorating infrastructure and facilities. I recently toured these media houses to learn about their challenges at first hand, and we're currently putting together a revitalization plan to leverage their valuable assets and re-inject life into their operations. The reintroduction of the Media Development Fund is also being reconsidered to support the Ghanaian media. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, during my recent trip to Zambia, we saw what a united Ghana can achieve on the global stage. A simple mislabeling of our culture could have reduced us to a punchline. Instead, we moved with speed and confidence. We corrected the record. We turned what was supposed to be ridicule into reach. We turned confusion into connection. We turned what could have been a negative social media trend into a handshake of friendship with our Zambian brothers and sisters. Mr. Speaker, for most people, that episode was just a fleeting social media frenzy. Yet it served a greater purpose. It showed a nation that understands its brand equity. It showed citizens aligned around a common identity. It showed a country that knows who we are and refuses to be defined by others. But let us be honest, unity in moments of cultural pride has proved easier than unity in moments of political disagreement. If we can mobilize that same collective resolve for our development agenda, we will see real progress. And that mobilization is possible because we are the descendants of a people who united against political subjugation. We resisted economic exploitation and we fought colonial oppression. Mr. Speaker, our pursuit of national development today demands that same unity of purpose. We must reject misrepresentation and distortion that detract from our collective progress. We must guard our development as firmly as we guard our cultural identity. We must act as one people with one purpose. Mr. Speaker, in public life, there is a simple maxim we're all very familiar with, and it says that the buck stops with the president. Mr. Speaker, I not only agree with this. Every day I hold office of president, I live by that statement that the buck stops with me. The ultimate responsibility for the direction of this nation rests with the office that I hold, and I'll never shirk that duty. But nation building is not merely a question of who provides the strategic direction and who bears the final responsibility. It is a long chain of efforts that carries intent into reality, from policy conception to laws enacted, to resources mobilized, to services delivered, to value created on farms, in workshops, in classrooms, in markets, and in enterprises across our land. Mr. Speaker, it is here that the strength of a people reveals itself. It is in the countless acts of competence, integrity, and industry by citizens of every calling whose work turns national purpose into lived reality. Mr. Speaker, while the bulk may stop with me, the work of nation building goes beyond that. Through the labor, enterprise, and civic spirit of millions of Ghanaians whose daily efforts give policy life. Mr. Speaker, I will continue to carry the weight of final accountability. And I ask in equal measure that our citizens bring their full measure of energy, skills, and patriotism to the common task of advancing our country. That is how nations are built. That is how economies grow. No policy can substitute for civic duty. No program can replace the quiet discipline with which millions of Ghanaians sustain their families, serve their communities, and carry this republic forward each day. Mr. Speaker, we are sometimes tempted to judge our nation only by our failures and our difficulties. But the country is not defined solely by its difficulties. It is defined by the choices its people make in response to those difficulties. Repeatedly through our history, Ghanaians have chosen steadiness over despair, cooperation over division, and purpose over cynicism. That is the deeper strength on which our future rests. We faced testing moments before, and we have overcome them. We've gone periods of economic strain, transitions that have demanded much from our citizens and our public servants alike. And Mr. Speaker, there's an African proverb that says, however long the night is, the dawn will break. Mr. Speaker, the dawn is breaking for Ghana. The moment we are in requires not only endurance but also action. It reminds us that renewal belongs to those who prepare for the morning while others still speak of and look back at the darkness. For Ghana today, that dawn is not a promise we must recite. It is a reality we must build into our institutions, into our economy, and in the ethics of responsibility we pass on to the next generation. So let us live each day mindful that the Republic is larger than any one political party, any office, any individual. This Republic belongs equally to the farmer, the trader, the teacher, the nurse, the artisan, the entrepreneur, the parliamentarian, and the young citizen, and the elderly retired personnel. Mr. Speaker, each of these people has a stake in our nation, and each one has a duty. Each has a claim on the future we're shaping together. Mr. Speaker, nations endure not because they are spared trial, but because their people refuse to surrender to trial. Ghana has been tested before. We did not surrender. We will not surrender now. And so with gratitude for how far we have come, and with the resolve for the work ahead, I say, Mr. Speaker, the state of our nation is resilient, the state of our nation is renewing, and our nation is firmly in the hands of its people. Our nation is on the brink of takeoff, and so ladies and gentlemen, passengers, fasten your seatbelts. I thank you for your attention.
Honorable members. Honorable members. Honorable members. Honorable members, please. Honorable members, you know we are in this together, and you understand as accomplished parliamentarians that when the speaker is on his feet, every other person please, you don't only resume your seats, but you also keep silent. Honorable members, before I convey the gratitude of the House to His Excellency the President for the message, permit me to acknowledge some more senior patriots who are with us here today. We have the leader of the People's National Convention in the person of Bernard Mona. We also have the leader of the All People's Congress, APC, in the person of Hassan Abdullahi Ayaraga. And we have my senior brother, the former flag bearer of the Convention People's Party, Ivor Robina Greenstreet, also with us here. Please, you are all warmly welcome. Honorable members, in accordance with Standing Order 72, Rule 4, I convey to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, the gratitude of the House for the address. Honorable members, again, in accordance with the practice of this House, a formal communication will be forwarded to His Excellency the President after the House has thoroughly debated this message. So His Excellency will hear from us. I know you are ready. Honorable members, we, by our rules, are to sit for 5 hours per sitting. When it's not up to 5 hours, the motion for adjournment has to be moved. And here we are We have spent a lot of time, but not yet 5 hours. And so I'll have to call on the leaders starting with the minority leader. And honorable members, in consultation with the leaders, I'm giving each of them 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Please, we'll hear you for only 5 minutes. Then after that, I'll put the question for adjournment. Yes, minority leader.
Speaker, with respect, let me thank you for the opportunity and thank Mr. President for living up to this constitutional obligation. But Mr. Speaker, what the President failed to tell the people of Ghana is that 1 year in government, he's still acting with slogans, no action. Mr. Speaker, electricity tariffs have skyrocketed and Ghanaians cannot afford electricity. We have thousands of Ghanaian youths who are, Mr. Speaker, can they be quiet and listen? Because if they misconduct themselves, we'll do the same thing to their leader. Keep quiet. You can't take away my time. If you don't keep quiet and listen to me, your leader cannot speak. If you don't know, I'm telling you. Mr. Speaker, thousands of Ghanaian youths were dismissed through a letter by the Chief of Staff. It's part of the State of the Nation. Mr. Speaker, as we speak, there is a scandal looming. Security services recruitment, TribeNet, we know who brought that company to the ministry. Kama has a way. And we, the minority, will pursue the person and make sure there's full disclosure. Mr. Speaker, the cocoa farmers, they have reduced producer price and Erikopoku cannot be found. They don't care about cocoa farmers and they are here telling us inflation, macroeconomics is ready. Macroeconomics is ready. Mr. Speaker, Galamsey continues. Ghanaians continue to suffer under this Galamsey hardship. And we expect concrete action to be taken on Galamsey. Mr. Speaker, to conclude, our elders say, give credit where credit is due. Mr. President is telling us today that some gains have been made. Those gains through this gold for reserve. Mr. Speaker, the gold for reserve policy, what they have failed to tell Ghanaians is that the Bawumia that they attack, Mr. Speaker, the Bawumia that they attack, the Bawumia that you attacked is the brainchild of this policy. Mr. Speaker, they are showing a picture trying to embarrass the former finance minister. We've seen, but very soon, let me assure you that somebody, a senior appointee who is in charge of this TribeNet, would go to jail. So the one behind TribeNet, the one who introduced TribeNet to the ministry, who is chopping money. Mr. Speaker, we are happy you are showing. Very soon we'll bring a picture. Then you will see the one in charge of TribeNet duping innocent Ghanaians, duping their unemployed youths. There are many youth who are looking for jobs, and this tribe net with the connivance of an appointee of government, she will be exposed. So you continue with Kenoforiata. Soon and very soon it will be your turn. Mr. Speaker, I will conclude by saying that this side of the house, we are ready today to debate on this SONA, and by Monday the true SONA will be revealed by the minority. By Monday, we the minority will present to the people of Ghana the true state of the nation. Mr. Speaker, that said, let me thank you for the opportunity, and I wish Mr. President well. Thank you very much.
Honorable members, please, honorable members, let's now listen to the majority leader. 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of my colleagues in this house, we want to thank His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama for his excellent leadership.
Honorable members, please. Honorable members. Honorable members, please. Honorable members, please. We are not at a rally ground. Please. You must know that this house has the power to terminate, yes, by law, the membership of a member of parliament. Please. This is just a reminder to all of you. Again, this is a reminder to all of you. Majority Leader, you may continue.
want to thank His Excellency, the President John Dramani Mahama, for his leadership. Ghanaians are very grateful to you. Mr. Speaker, it is obvious that the Ghana you inherited and the Ghana you speak of today is like day and night. The Ghana you inherited is as dark as the dark dresses that they are wearing on the other side. And the Ghana you speak of today is clearly as bright as the white dresses that we are wearing on this side. Mr. Speaker, clearly everything that you have said here is true. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Afenyo Makin will attest to that. He will attest to the fact that the big push is pushing through Winneba steadily. And he's getting premix. Mr. Speaker, it seems today is about cocoa prices. I can understand. Mr. Speaker, let me read Reuters today. Reuters has confirmed Ivory Coast will pay cocoa farmers 800 to 1,000 CFA francs per kilogram for the mid-crop starting March 1st. The main crop price was 2,800 CFA francs per kilogram. When converted to Ghana cedis, this is about 980 to 1,225 Ghana cedis per 64 kilogram bag. Mr. Speaker, Ivory Coast will pay cocoa farmers 800 to 1,000 CFA francs per kilogram from the mid-crop starting March 1st. The main crop price was 2,800 CFA francs per kilogram. When converted to Ghana cedis, this is about 980 to 1,225 per 64 kilogram bag. In Ghana, farmers are paid 2,587 per 64 kilogram bag, which is more than twice the price in Ivory Coast. This is confirmed this morning by Reuters. Mr. Speaker, I see written on the muffler of my friends in black that MPP Yaya Mobo Dodo. MPP Yaya Mobo Dodo. Mobo Dodo MPP. Yaya Mobo Dodo MPP. Mr. Speaker, this is a month of Ramadan, and Your Excellency, all Muslims in Ghana will pray for Allah's blessings on you. For your sterling leadership that has been recognized by the entire West Africa. That is why they unanimously elected you unopposed to lead in Africa. Ghanaians are proud of you. This Ramadan, many of our people could afford sugar and rice because the prices have come down. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Majority Leader,
Let me conclude.
your 5 minutes
Let
is
me
up.
conclude. Let me conclude by seconding the motion. The motion moved
Honorable,
by my friends, the
Honorable Majority Leader, you will now move the motion for adjournment.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this House adjourns until Tuesday in the forenoon. I so move.
Honorable Minority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, much as we are willing to work, the majority is unwilling to work. So, Mr. Speaker, I will reluctantly second the motion to grant the pleasure of the majority leader who wants to go and rest. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
honorable members, the motion has been moved and seconded. And the question is, as many as are in favor of adjournment, say aye. As many as are against, say no. Honorable members, clearly the ayes have it. The House is accordingly adjourned till Tuesday, 3rd March 2026 at 2 p.m. The House is adjourned.
Okay, Kami. Okay, at this level, is it good? Or you want me to increase it, or you want me to reduce it? Am I increasing the volume, or I'm reducing? The President of the Republic of Ghana just delivered a message on the state of the nation. This is in accordance with the provisions of Article 67 of the 1992 Constitution.